Hello and welcome to Go Math Module 10, Lesson 2. Today we are discussing evaluating expressions. And our essential question for today is how can you use order of operations, that's our Pemdas, to evaluate expressions? And as we are evaluating these problems, you are going to see directions like this in your textbook, evaluate, using that language, and that just means solve, given the value of the variable. So this is best taught through examples. So today we are just going to be looking at a bunch of different examples for solving for a variable. So let's check out our first example. This says x minus 9, given that x equals 15. And when you're giving these problems, you may see words like x minus 9, for x equals 15, when x equals 15, where you might just see a comma like I have here. So we are going to take that 15, the problem is telling us x equals 15. We're taking that and we're subbing it in. So take that 15 and sub it in for x. So here I go. I'm taking that 15, that goes in for x, and I'm keeping my minus 9 the same. So now I'm just taking 15 minus 9, and I get my answer of 6. So all I did was after I substituted in 15, I just subtracted. So that was a subtraction problem. Let's look at a division problem. For this one, we are going to have 16 over the variable n for n equals 8. So this time, instead of having a comma, we see the language for. And that means the same thing. We're still substituting 8 in for n. So let's go ahead and make that substitution. So we now have 16 over 8 goes in for n. And we solve. 16 divided by 8 gives us 2. So then I just did my division and I found my answer. Let's look at another one. The next one is 0.5 y. And this time you're going to see a comma. Y equals 1.4. Okay, so we may see decimals. Don't get worried because we have our calculators. We can use calculators on this chapter to help us solve. Now, yesterday we spoke about when you see a variable right up against a number, or decimal in this case, that is telling us that the operation is multiplication. So let's add that in our notes again. Variable right next to the number. It's like it's its partner. And that means to multiply. Our operation is multiplication. So we could read this 0.5 times y if we wanted to. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to plug in. So let's take our 0.5, and I'm going to use my big dot for multiplication symbol times 1.4. When I calculate that out, I get my answer of 0.7. So again, we're just following that method of substituting in what we are given for our variable. Let's try one using multiplication again. So practicing the same thing. We have 6k where, so this time the language says where, k equals 1/3. Okay, so again, I'm seeing multiplication. I have a variable right up against a number. And my k is a fraction. So I'm going to take my 6, my whole number, and I'm going to turn it into a fraction. And I do that by putting it over 1. Remember, that's the trick. Anytime you need to make a whole number a fraction, you're sticking it over 1. Now we have 6 multiplied by k. So I'm plugging in 1/3, substituting that in for the letter k. Now think back to way back first trimester when we multiplied fractions. 6 times 1 gives me 6. 1 times 3 gives me 3. But I'm not done yet. I need to simplify this down. 6 divided by 3 gives me the answer 2. So I'm making sure that I did my simplify. So make sure you add that to your notes so you remember to always simplify that into the whole number. Okay, let's look at using PEMDAS to solve now. So in module 9.3, we discussed PEMDAS and our order of operations. So here we are using our parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division left to right, and addition, subtraction left to right to solve. And we're remembering multiplication, division is left to right, and addition, subtraction is left to right. Our first example problem is 4 parentheses x minus 4 when x equals 7. So I'm going to follow my same substitution. 4 parentheses, 7 now is in for x, minus 4. According to PEMDAS, I need to do what's inside my parentheses first. So I'm going to take 7 minus 4 and I'm going to get 3. Now, I see a number right up against parentheses, and we know that this means multiplication. So anytime we see those numbers right up against each other like this, like with parentheses blocking it, multiplication. So this is 4 times 3, which gives me the final answer of 12. So the answer to this problem is 12. Let's try another more challenging one. This problem is w minus x plus y, comma, w equals 6, x equals 5, and y equals 3. So I need to substitute in 3 numbers this time. Okay, well, my number for w is 6. So I'm going to put 6, bring down my minus. Now x was worth 5, substituting in 5. Bringing down my operation, and y was worth 3. Okay, so I need to solve this. Order of operations tells me that for addition, subtraction, I need to go left to right. So which one do I see first in the problem when I'm reading? Oh, there's subtraction. So I'm going to grab that and do 6 minus 5. I get 1, and bring down my 3 to have a final answer of 4. The last example problem that we're going to look at today is the most challenging one of the day. And here we have some exponents. We have x to the power of 2 minus x, where x equals 9. So we have 2 x's in this problem that we have to plug 9 in for. So let's substitute 9 in for x to the power of 2 minus 9 equals what? Okay, PEMDAS says we have to take care of our exponents first. So 9 to the power of 2 is 9 times 9, which gives us 81. So I'm going to bring it down. Now I have 81 minus 9, and I can solve 81 minus 9 gives me 72. So in this lesson, we are just practicing substituting in numbers for our variables. This has been Go Math, Module 10, Lesson 2, Day 1.